Hello, my name is Ashley Davis Bush, and I'm the author of Transcending Loss. And I'm here today to talk to you about feeling your feelings and also seeking comfort. So, first of all, I want to give a nod to the importance of feeling your feelings. We live in a relatively feeling averse culture if you're feeling grief, anger, sadness, sorrow, depression, anxiety, loneliness, etc. We like the good feelings. We like to label good versus bad feelings. I'm going to suggest to you that all of the feelings are important. There are no so-called good or bad feelings. Some are more pleasant, I'll grant you that. And grief is the hardest of all. Why? Because, as you know, if you're watching this, when someone you love is taken from you, is ripped out of your life, your world collapses. So grief in and of itself is comprised of many feelings, really all the ones I just mentioned: depression, loneliness, anger, regret, sorrow, agonizing pain. So you may say, why is it good to feel those feelings? And all I can tell you is, after watching and working with grievers for over 30 years, the only way out is through. You have to feel your feelings in order to heal. It's just the nature of our emotional makeup, our nervous systems. You have to work through the feelings. And so that takes a kind of patience, a kind of self-compassion, a kind of willingness to lean into what is arguably very challenging, and support from people around you who understand the necessity of going on this journey. I believe that when you start to befriend your feelings, they become less torturous, if you will. They can become more familiar, more of a sense of name it to tame it. So name it to tame it is a practice in neuroscience, which is essentially that when you give it a name, you help contain it. So you would say, oh, this is my grief as I'm crying, driving to work. Ah, this is sorrow and longing as I'm lying in bed, starting to cry. Oh, this is anger. I'm feeling angry that this happened to me. Why was it me? So naming each emotion to allow you to sort of put your hands around it. But the other thing I want to share with you in this short video is, how do you find comfort as you're grieving? Because it's impossible to dive into the feelings 24/7. That is not the goal. Even though I say you have to feel in order to heal, you shouldn't be feeling 24/7 a sense of torment. You need breaks from it. You need to dose your grief, if you will. Take doses of it and then breaks from it. So you might need to watch a comedy show that could distract you for a while. But I'm a big believer in, how do you comfort yourself? And so I want to leave you with this idea of comfort through the 5 senses. And I'm going to give you some examples. To take a break from your grief, to say, okay, I've been feeling my feelings. I may have expressed them. I may have shared them with a friend. I may have journaled about them. I may have just had a big cry session. And now I need some comfort. You're going to turn to the 5 senses. So first, look. Look at something interesting. And I have this object. This is a beautiful shell. And what I would say is, just take some time to mindfully look at the shape, the texture, the color, the shape, imagine, where did this come from? Who lived in this? Take some time to look at an object with great intensity and detail. Then you want to smell something pleasant. So I have here lavender essential oils. It smells great. I wish I could share it with you. Taking a moment to just inhaling intentionally. Some other good ones to inhale that are usually quite pleasant are fresh coffee grounds, and or the smell of peanut butter, and of course any kind of fragrant flower. Taking a moment to intentionally just settle in with that smell. Taste, I would say something delicious. Go back to the peanut butter. Have a mint. Mint can be very refreshing to taste. An orange, taking 5 minutes to just really sample an orange. With sound, I'm going to just ring a bell. I don't know if it will resonate through the sound waves here, but taking a moment to listen to something intentionally. Just listening to the sound, letting the vibrations go around you. Likewise, when it comes to listening, I'm a big believer in music. So listen to some calming music, something beautiful, a Chopin piece, a nocturne, or just something that's familiar to you. Let it be. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. So listen to something calming. And last, I want to talk about just touching. So here's something soft. Touch something soft. I'm also a big believer in, believe it or not, teddy bears. If you are grieving, you should have a teddy bear. That's my recommendation. To hold, to hug, to touch, to soften. Big believer in the healing benefits and the wellness properties of owning a teddy bear. So those are some tips on how to comfort yourself when you're on the arduous path of grieving, or whatever emotional flow that you find yourself in. You want your feelings to flow, but you don't want them to be so unbearable that they just take you down all the time. So befriending your feelings, letting them flow, and finding ways to comfort yourself with the 5 senses. Those are my thoughts for you today. Namaste.